Good morning. Hello, Vante. Hello, Babel. Welcome in. Oh, I need to do the ping on Discord. What do you mean deathly ill? So, I'm feeling a little bit better now, but the combination of having a work week that was really, really rough, and finding out that, surprise, I'm allergic to a food that I have never previously had an allergy to. So I'm really out of it, but I'm okay. I'm on the mend. Uh, but yeah, unfortunately, I'm apparently allergic to something that I didn't know I was allergic to, so I had a really bad reaction. But I'm feeling better. Sarah, welcome in. Heaven, welcome in. Deary, okay. Yeah, I'm all right now. I apparently I have a shellfish allergy now, that I've never had before. So I had a really, I just made lunch. I think it was Thursday. You know, it was Friday. I made like a little stir fry, um, for lunch, and I've never had an allergy to shellfish before. And as soon as I started eating it, I started having a really, really bad reaction. I had to run to the drugstore and get, uh, what's it called? We call it Benadryl here. I'm not sure what you guys call it there, but yeah, it at first I was like, oh, my tongue is swelling and my mouth is really dry and it's uncomfortable. Um, but it wasn't particularly bad. Um, so I went to the drugstore and I got some Benadryl and I was able to finish my work day, which is important to me. I didn't want to take time off. I could have. My boss told me to, but I really find it difficult to take time off. But by the time I got off work, it had gotten much worse, and it had gotten much worse despite me taking the Benadryl. So I can only imagine how bad it would have gotten if I hadn't taken it. Um, let's see. But yeah, I was basically down the rest of Friday. Um, I had a really bad fever, shaking, the whole thing. So I'm pretty dead. I'm pretty shot from that, but I'm all right. I'm still aching, and it's kind of hard to move, but it sucks because I like I like little shrimpies. They're like my favorite food. Like I love shrimp so much that when I was a little kid, my parents would let me, um, choose what I wanted to have my birthday dinner be. Like I would get to like select like a meal and they would make it for me. And every single year, without fail, I would ask for shrimp, and my mom would always say, she's like, "Should I bother asking you what you want for your birthday meal this year, or is it going to be shrimp again?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's going to be shrimp again." So now that tradition's ruined. book is amazing. Thank you very much. I'm really glad to hear you're enjoying it. Fish is evil, not a fan. My sister has hated fish uh, forever, since forever. I think she doesn't like the texture of it. Uh, but my dad has a mild, it's not super bad, but he has a mild shellfish allergy. So as soon as I noticed that it was making me feel weird, I'm like, oh, crap, I probably have inherited my dad's allergy and it's showing up now, but I'm gonna pour myself more coffee. Hold on. I'm gonna need every bit of help I can get today to stay upright. Oh, it sucks. Like, I know, it's such a shame. And it's also a shame because I bought two of these little stir fry packs. So now I've got one that I can't eat because apparently I have an allergy to it now. I've never had allergies before, so it's really weird for me, but it is what it is. Let's see. I'm almost out of my cold words. Here, I will swap my screen over to the canvas. Full disclosure, I don't know how much work I'm gonna get done today, but we can swap over anyways. There we go. There's Ben. I'm glad you're doing a bit better. Thank you. It's weird how you can just get a random allergy. Yeah, it's really odd. Because I've lived in this local area, or I was raised in this local area, I should say. But I moved kind of around to several different states, and lived out of state for several years. By the time I came back, I had developed allergies to like the pollen and everything here. I need to what's it called? I need to eat some local honey from bees in this area. See if that can help me over time a little bit, because now the pollen absolutely kills me. It didn't used to touch me before. I want fish now. Hopefully my allergy is just a shellfish allergy. I can still. I actually had smoked salmon. Not last week, probably the week before. I didn't have any, bad effect from that. So hopefully it's just shellfish, which is still a shame, but we'll see. Have my coffee. Turn the air conditioner on. Did I put this on Blue Sky? I think I did. I'm just gonna leave the countdowns for Instagram. That's good enough. What did you guys do this week? Anything fun? Just working? Yesterday I had to help my mom with some party planning stuff, which is basically I sit there and she tells me what she wants, and I basically tell her what she should do to get the outcome that she wants. Because she's trying to, the party that she's hosting or planning to host is a baby shower for my sister. And she wants to host a Victorian afternoon tea. And she doesn't know what that entails. She just knows that that's what she wants to do. So she's basically calling me and showing me everything that she's bought. She's like, does this work for an afternoon tea? What should I do? What kind of food do I have to serve? How do I serve the tea? And I'm like, oh my God. So that's what I spent yesterday doing. Well, not all of yesterday, some of yesterday. And I did get some more frames. I don't have any prints to go in them just yet. But I did get, I think I got a total of 3 frames. Let me see. I think I got two plain wooden frames that I want to put maybe like a botanical or maybe like a nautical engraving in. Probably a nautical engraving for the large one and a botanical for the small frame, but they're 2 wooden frames, they're nothing special. And then I got one that is more of an antique looking frame. I'll see if I can take a picture of these. Oh, is my phone dead? Crap, hold on. I might not be able to get a picture of these. I keep forgetting to charge it. I did my grading Saturday, going for my green belt. That's fantastic. Please keep us abreast of your progress. That's so exciting. Hang in there. I need to have your bastard on my mind to survive my own crazy life shenanigans. You and me both. This little bastard is carrying both of us through shenanigans. My week was boring. I wish mine was boring. OMG, a baby. Yes, this is her first child. She and her husband are having a baby boy. His name is Max. I don't know if they've decided on a middle name for him yet, but it's all very, very exciting. She's very excited. My mom has been waiting quite a long time for her grandkids, so she's very excited. So, and hopefully I'll be able to help with the afternoon tea, and we'll get things to be a very pleasant afternoon. A baby boy, and let me tell you, I know nothing with certainty except that this kid is going to be so tall. Because both of my parents are over 6 foot. My uncle on my uncle on my mom's side is 6'4" or 5". He's very tall. He has to duck to get through doors. And my uncle on my dad's side is like 6'2", 6'3", quite tall. And my sister and I are both really short. We're both like 5'4", 5'3". I think she's 5'3", I'm 5'4", I don't remember. And that's because my dad's parents were both about like 4.5 foot tall. They were both extremely short. So it skipped a generation, and my sister and I got it. But my sister has married her husband. I think he's at least six foot. And so I know, I'm like, your kid is gonna be like taller than me by the time he's like 12, and that's just not fair. Literally just got off a meeting after a full work day, kind of dead, but still hyper. Well, thank you so much for coming, especially right after work. To play with Uncle Dia. I'm gonna be the weird uncle for sure. The weird uncle that has like all the trinkets and like the weird stuff. Basically, I'm gonna become my uncle to this kid, because my uncle is the one who got me into antiques. Jesus, that's tall. Everybody's tall except for me. It's not fair. I have to get a stool to get things out of the cabinet. It's just not fair. I was on TV. It was for an interview. What kind of interview? All right, hold on. I'm getting my tablet. Oh my God, did I tell you guys about the drama with my tablet? Because oh my God, that was another thing I had to deal with. Sai decided that my tablet was no longer compatible with the driver, and they said, "Screw you, buy another tablet." I'm like, I'm not buying another tablet when my tablet works perfectly fine. So I had to do all this crap to get it to work again. So far it's working fine, but I live in fear of it suddenly breaking and just not working anymore. I actually recorded a speed paint for a YouTube video that I want to do. That's about it's about the well, it's the history of the church, but a very particular part of the church. It's the history of the first cardinal that was ever made. Um, and I have that speed paint ready, and I have that video scripted, but I want to do well. You guys can let me know your thoughts. My thought was that I would save the history of the first cardinal for after I do some sort of video about like a general history of the church, like a general about the church video. I think that makes the most sense to have them go in order. But I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts. I think I'm as tall as you, if I remember correctly, and that's not fair to you either, because aren't you Dutch folk supposed to be tall? But yeah, in that speed paint, you can actually pinpoint the exact moment that my tablet lost sensitivity. It happened in the middle of me drawing, and I had to stop and take like 2 hours to troubleshoot the tablet driver to get it working again. It was a nightmare. I left it in the speed paint though. You can see the exact moment in the speed paint where my will to live starts evaporating. I mean, your sister totally lost the genetics lottery. At least I'm as short as my parents. I can't complain. Yeah, my sister and I definitely lost the lottery. I extra lost the lottery because I have a skin condition. I forget what it's called, but basically my body overproduces scar tissue if it's injured, and it doesn't really impact me very much. I have like a couple scars from like childhood injuries, like I have stitches and so on, because I was a stupid kid. But the main reason that it sucks because it doesn't really impact anything, but it does mean that I can't get tattoos because they would just scar. It would just turn into a lump of scar tissue, which sucks because I would love to get some tattoos, but it is what it is. Let's see. I haven't zoomed in because I haven't decided what I'm doing with his arms yet, so they just don't exist. Because I was going to, let's see here. Sketch this in white so it's easier to see. You can kind of see that I had his arm going this way originally. But Benjamin usually... It's so funny drawing Benjamin after drawing Cyril so much because he's so skinny by comparison. Because Benjamin usually tattoo. I would love to get um, just a few small tattoos, but alas, my dermatologist said, terrible idea, don't do that. Because my best case scenario, my skin would just push the ink, and it would just not stay, so you just end up with a blotchy, really bad looking tattoo. Or worst case scenario, it would scar over and I would just end up having a bump of scar tissue that is discolored because of the ink. So, I don't know. I still debate now and then getting like a really small tattoo somewhere as kind of a test to see just how my skin reacts, but I don't know. It hasn't really been a huge priority. I'm always the shortest person in the group, which is something I'm not proud of. I don't know if I mean, you can't really see all of the sleeves, so it doesn't really matter. I guess I'm tall after all, just short and almost got you. 160 centimeters at 5'2". Yeah, my brain can't translate centimeters to inches yet. Well, so the funny thing is that for most measurements, because I'm a filthy American, we use feet and inches here. So if you tell me, like, you can't see me, but I'm holding up a little cube-shaped terrarium that I have on my desk. If you handed me this little cube and said, "Oh, it's about 2 inches, wide or whatever," I'd be like, "Okay, yeah, I can visualize that." Pretty much everything works that way for me, except dolls. Because my doll hobby, everything, absolutely everything, is measured in centimeters. And if you tell me, like, "Oh, this is a 70 centimeter doll," I'm like, "I've got you. I know exactly what scale that is. I can picture it in my mind. Totally get it." Versus if you tell me, "This is a 22-inch doll," I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. That doesn't make any sense to me." I really don't want to elongate the canvas, but I might. There isn't really a need to, but basically, actually do this. Hold on. Change, because basically the idea is here. The sleeves for the clerics are different than the sleeves for the hunters. So hunters have fitted sleeves, but clerics have like multi-layered big sleeves, for lack of a better word. And the way that they're worn, this is a really rough sketch, but to give you a general idea. So this is his arm. He's very skinny. Oh, he's skinny compared to Cyril. So the way that it works is they have like an inner sleeve that's basically the hunter's sleeve, more or less. So it's like a fitted sleeve. Comes down. And the fitted sleeve itself is like part of the shirt. It's like actually connected to the garment. And then on top of that, there's this outer sleeve that like pins on. Pin's probably not the right word. It probably gets like sewn on, and it can be, or buttoned on, and it can be disconnected if you don't want to use it. But it's an outer sleeve that's attached, and it's bigger. Probably more like about that. Something like that. It might be a little bit longer, but you get the idea. It's a much bigger sleeve. And it's big enough that Benjamin can like fold his hands into his sleeves. So, you know, he gets to do the little he gets to do that thing, right? where his hands are folded into his sleeves. That's how he usually is standing, because it's very cold most of the time, and he's just a little guy. But these sleeves, these outer ones, can also get rolled up and then pinned in place in case they need to be kept out of the way, but you don't want to entirely remove them. Which I think I've done a drawing of him with his sleeves pinned that way. But it basically ends up looking like that. And then the other option is to have that outer sleeve entirely removed, so he's not wearing it at all. And then he'd have his like his doctor sleeves on, which are like fitted at the fingers. There's like a little band kind of at the wrist, and then it's like fluffy, and then it has like another band up here to keep it in place. That's what he's using, or what he wears rather, when he's like treating wounds, because it's like white linen, I guess is what it would be, but it's white so that it can be taken off and bleached, because obviously it's gonna get blood on it. So he wouldn't. I don't think I'll have him wearing that right now, but that's a cleric's attire 101, a very simplified form. Fashion icon. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Sounds good. Cozy autumn with long sleeves is coming. I know, I'm so excited for it to start cooling down. I'm excited for it to start cooling down, and because I finally actually got my very first paycheck with my raise in it. It's been months, but I finally got it. So now I'm gonna have, hopefully, a little extra money that I can use to decorate my new place. Because, you know, it's definitely livable, but I would like to do some decorating. The style of decorating that I do is very much caters to like a autumn cozy study kind of vibe, so I'm excited for that. It's the little things. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna have his hands up or not. It would be the easiest to draw if I just... So he's got his little capelet on too. And then Benjamin does not pin his cross the way Cyril does. So he just has it loose. Congrats on more money in the bank account. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad that it finally worked itself out. There've been all sorts of not bickering, but deliberation about it because it had to do with all sorts of corporate shenanigans in terms of what department I'm billed to and so on and so forth. So I'm glad they finally sorted it. Do you guys want to know a little secret bit of lore about why Benjamin does this so much? And when I say this, I mean like folding his hands into his sleeves. Because I was working on the next animatic, and Benjamin is in the next animatic, but it's a much younger Benjamin. But basically, the previous archbishop used to, excuse me, the previous archbishop used to do it a lot, to fold his hands into his sleeves, because the previous archbishop and every other archbishop before him was a cleric, so they wear the wide sleeves. The previous archbishop would always do that, and Benjamin was basically not really an altar boy, because we don't really have those in this universe, but basically he would kind of work for, I mean, they all work for the archbishop, but he would be the one to accompany the archbishop to like help him as he was aging, like help him up and down the stairs and so on and so forth, because at that time Benjamin was an apprentice cleric, so he was being taught how to care for people, and so Benjamin kind of took on that habit because he was around the archbishop so much when he was younger. So it's like, dude, a cute little tidbit that probably won't be noticed or of any importance whatsoever in the actual animatic, but I was thinking about it the other day when I was drawing Benjamin. I have to make some concessions in the animatic because the ages of the characters. In the book, everything is very structured. I don't know, but that's not really the right word. In the book, they have a certain timeline that they follow in terms of, you know, how old they were for, you know, X or Y specific event. But when it comes to the animatic, most of the people who watch the animatics are not going to read the book. So I have to make it so that, because they won't have the added context of the book, I have to make it so that the characters have visual components to them that are distinct enough to do the storytelling for the characters, because the viewer won't have the added benefit of having read the book or that added context. So things are going to get a little muddy, but it's okay. It is what it is. I do think. Oh, I did add his little freckles. Very important. Let's see. Are these his spectacles? Yeah. So I can take off his spectacles and you can see his cute little face. I love him very much. There we go. It's a little bit more of an accurate version. So now I can color this in. Starting to make winter shopping? Oh man, I haven't even thought about winter yet. I'm still just getting ready for fall. Benjamin looks so cozy. I wish I was Benjamin. End things on cliffhangers. It would help with luring people to your books, I think. Maybe? I mean, for the speed paint videos and like for the lore videos and for the prologue, like I'm hoping to have some voice actor narrate that. Those things I can link the book in the description of those things because they're original creations. I'm going to be using either things that I pay for, like a voice actor, or things that are public domain or copyright free. Not the same thing, don't get those confused, just so you know. But like public domain, things like background music, so on. Because of that, I can put a link to the book in the description, and it isn't a breach of copyright. But for the animatics that use other people's music, so like Hellfire, and the upcoming animatic, because not only is it using someone else's performance, their music, like in the case of Hellfire, it's Jonathan Young, but the music that he's singing is also copyrighted by Disney. If I put a link to the book in the description of that video, that is now considered advertising. That is a breach of copyright, and I could end up in a lot of trouble for doing that. So when it comes to the animatics, I can't link to the book. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm dreaming about Halloween. I'm dreaming about the discount candy I can get the day after Halloween. But no, in seriousness, I'm looking forward to autumn. We have basically If you drive about 2 hours kind of northeast of where I am, there's I don't know what to call them. I almost want to call them a guild, even though that's not what they are. But there are basically several apple orchards all back to back up in the not mountains, but like up in the hills. It's definitely high up enough that you will see snow when you go up there. And this time of year is obviously their big season. They're really going into like their big tourist season. And our family usually tries to go there at least once a year. Uh, you can have like fresh apple cider and apple pies, all sorts of candies, fudge. There's a big like crafter fair up there where people bring handmade things that they've created. I got a really nice ramen bowl from up there that's really, really pretty. That was a gift I got one year. So it's a really lovely place. The scenery is beautiful. You get to walk through the orchards. You get to go on hiking trails and everything up there. There's a big lake that you can fish at. It's just a really lovely time. So I'm very excited for that. It'll be really nice to go to that this year, hopefully. But I'm also because of my promotion, I'm now on a PTO ban, so I can't really request time off, unfortunately. Um, so we'll see. Thank you so much for stopping by, Heaven. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. I changed my mind. I don't like his arms in there. I'm just gonna erase all of this actually. Can you write? I've got a book about this story. Here's my website. No, unfortunately, that is still considered advertising. I think it's defined as like any direction to any kind of product. So, like if you're a creator of some kind and you put like your Patreon in there, like that's fine. You're just directing people to a social media. But if you were directing them to a product, which is the case of my book, it is a product by definition, that's what can get you into trouble. Because it's not you're selling yourself, as in like your Patreon. Uh, that's fine. That's marketing like yourself. But if you're selling a like physical product, like a book, then yeah, unfortunately you can get into trouble. It's just it's rough. I don't want to risk it because I have notoriously bad luck with those kind of things online. Not that I've like had a breach of copyright before, but just online in general, my luck seems to be really, really bad. So I'm not tempting fate with that one. Don't tell me the Apple Orchard Fest is real. It's absolutely real. There's a reason I put that in the book. Because yes, that is something that the reason my family goes up there to this particular area, which is just very un unoriginally called uncreatively, that's the word. Uncreatively, it is just called Apple Hill. Collectively, all of the orchards up there are just called Apple Hill, which is really generic, but whatever. Each of the orchards are called something different. There's like High Hill Ranch and Boa Vista, and all these different things. But the reason that my family and I go there is because at the school, the elementary school that I went to, the kindergartners, which is like if you in kindergarten, you're about 6 years old here in the US. I know it's different all over the world, but like here, for example, we have preschool, kindergarten, and then we start the numbered grades first, second, third, yada yada. In kindergarten, when you're about 6 years old, 5 to 6 depending. I was redshirted, so I was 5. So each year they take the kindergartners, all the kids, up to Apple Hill, and they get to go on like a little party, and it's like pretty much it's exactly what I described in the book, more or less. They get to do all sorts of fun Apple related activities and make crafts and all that kind of stuff. It's a very fond memory that I have, and nobody ruins it like the one in the book. Let's try this again because I wasn't really happy with his arms. I don't know. I feel like I want his arms to be doing something. I have to think about this. That's so cute. We've got nothing like that. Really? I think out here where I am, we're really spoiled for choice in terms of where schools can like take kids to do stuff. Because if we go, 2.5 hours one direction, which is very doable as like a day trip, um, if we go, a couple of hours in one direction, we're up in the snow and the apple orchards and all that kind of stuff. Versus if we go the opposite direction for the same amount of time, you can get to the shore, you can get to the beaches, to the tide pools, and all these different things. So we were very, very spoiled for choice in the things that we got to go do as little kids for both for leisure and for education. Sure, if that's gonna stay, but I don't know. I feel like I want his hands to be doing something. I just don't know what that something is. And if I can't get his arms to cooperate with me, then it might just be time for Tiny Glade and some idle chatter instead, because I'm really exhausted. Svante, I don't think I've told you about. Um, I tried to get some more beta readers for the secret project that you're reading, and it is not going well. I didn't think it would go well, but it's not going well. Uh, It's raining here. I'm so envious. It's definitely dry as a bone where I am. Maybe Benjamin can be holding a book, or maybe he can be holding like a potion or something that he's made. Kids usually go to the theaters, museums, maybe take several trips to the lake. Oh my gosh, my voice. Hold on. See, we were supposed to, I think when I was really quite little, we went to the theater a bunch, um, just to see, not necessarily, high budget productions, but, we still got to go see stuff. I don't, I think, been to a few museums. I'd say that we probably didn't go to as many museums as I would have liked, but we went to a few. Triss says hi. I still have no idea kind of like what I want to do here, but if I do that, I could give him a book maybe. Bigger, let me see here. You don't want to? Hi everyone. Hello Cynthia. Welcome in. How are you today? Benjamin is reading his book and he's reading it to Cyril and he says, it says right here that you're a little bitch. Kidding, Benjamin wouldn't say that. Good, how is everyone? Doing well. I'm recovering from a really rough week and a allergic reaction, so I'm really out of it today, but we'll see. If I feel a little bit too exhausted to keep drawing, I'm gonna swap to just idle chatter and maybe some tiny glade and just kind of hang out for a little bit. But other than that, I'm hanging in there. How was your week? I don't want to cut anything. You gotta use a banned word. It shows up as stars for me, but I don't know I don't know what you said, so I don't know if it's just YouTube being silly or not. I can't be the only beta reader who has to do that. I'm so sorry, Vante, but I think it's gonna fall on you. I'm struggling to find people that will read and can give feedback. They're just I don't know why I'm having such a hard time. Excuse me. I don't know, it says here that you're a little bitch. Benjamin is very good at keeping his opinions to himself. Cyril should try that every now and then. This is a super rough sketch because I can feel my brain cells abandoning me in real time right now. Yay, Tiny Glade. Tiny Glade is very fun. I was considering Tiny Glade but I think this would be too video game heavy. That sounds really weird because like obviously Tiny Glade is also a video game, but Tiny Glade's like an idle diorama builder. It's not like a game. Uh, but I was considering playing Ori and the Blind Forest, but that's just because I want to play it again. Or well, specifically I want to play the Will o' the Wisp, which is the second game. I want to play it again. But if I did that, I'd probably need to put that on Twitch here too. Why don't we just leave things as is? Why do we have? Because it's too long, Monte. It's too long. The book is too long. It's already over 70,000 words, and my goal was 90,000, and I have at least 30,000 words that just haven't been put in order because I don't. Hi, my name's Dia. I don't write in chronological order. I write certain scenes and then I go back and I put them in the order that I want them to be. So I have a bunch of written material that I need to go through and edit and then arrange into order. And I have like other so much more content to put in that book, and it's too long. It was supposed to be 90,000 words. I like long, it's perfect for me, but it was supposed to be short. Oh no. we'll see. We'll see. I worry that it's too long, and I'm trying really hard to make it. I wanted it to be a easy. Well, okay. Compared to Immolation, I wanted it to be not as dense, and I wanted it to be a more casual read, something that, doesn't ask you to pay nearly as much attention as Immolation does. Immolation is like sit down, take notes. This will be on the final exam. And I wanted the secret project to feel different from that, and I think it does. But it's also getting pretty long. I'm an overwriter by nature, though. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Same, I do that too. I shake your hand, Cynthia. How much do you expect me to get rid of? Well, if I need to cut it down to like 90,000 words, um, and currently I'm at, optimistically, because obviously the content that I still have is not edited and I don't have an exact word count, approximately 30,000 words of content to add to the book, including like the ending. So obviously that needs to stay because the story has to end. Um, and each of my chapters averages somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 words. I need to bring it down by about 10,000 words. So we're looking at cutting a few chapters at minimum there. Cutting and or merging chapters, depending. You hate me so much. Dante, I have nothing but love for you because you are the best beta reader I've ever had. I didn't do anything wrong. Trust me, trust me. You would struggle so much to know how much content was cut from Immolation Volume 1 because there wasn't enough room. I wonder if it's just me who notes books when I read. I think everybody's different. Not everyone likes to do that though with their books. Good luck, Fonte. Uh, Good luck, Vontae. Good luck me too, cause I'm struggling. You put me through too much. Vontae, does that mean you don't wanna beta read Immolation Volume 2? I'm just asking. What? Sigh. Everybody appreciate Vontae for the sacrifices they're making. Literal sacrifices. Words are being slaughtered left and right. We'll see how the secret project goes. I tried my best to get some more beta readers. Sort of. I have three, kind of. One of them is an author who's asked for a manuscript swap, and I'm having a hard time reading their manuscript, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to maintain it. I'm so busy with school and work and having allergic reactions, I didn't know I was going to have. Um, but so far, it's not super helpful feedback. Um, like they're not even giving me like reader reactions, which are one of the most helpful parts. They're not even saying like, oh, I got a little bit bored, this conversation was long, or this is my favorite part, I really like this part, or anything like that. Um, they're just like, eh. What? It's not helpful feedback. You can't just go, yeah, it was fine. I mean, I think the only feedback that they've given me so far is like, I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm like, it, I need, I need more than that. I need more than that to go up. Now I won't be able to sleep. Please prioritize your sleep. The document is not going anywhere. Let me read. Oh boy. I don't know if you're gonna want to read this one. The Secret Project is a very different beast from Immolation. That's why it's getting published under a different pen name. Bring her with me. Oh my goodness. Um, when I tried to get more beta readers for the Secret Project, um, I posted it and kind of gave like a summary of what the book is about and yada yada yada. Um, and someone offered to read, and they wanted to do a swap. Um, Not the same person that I mentioned before. There were two authors or writers. I don't know if they're published, so I'm gonna say writers. There were two writers who wanted to do manuscript swaps, which is a relatively common way of doing beta reading. I try not to do it right now because I'm so busy. I really can't invest that time. But if I have no other options, I will do it. And one of them, let's just say that I will not be doing business with him anymore. uh, Babel has seen some of the notes that he left on the manuscript. Um, they were mm, interesting. They were interesting. As a simple example, I think it's in like chapter two or chapter three. I think it's chapter three. One of the characters says that they're going to go use the innkeeper's office, and that's where they're going to hold a meeting. And he highlights that sentence and is like, would an innkeeper really have an office? And I'm just I don't even know what to say to that. Every single comment he leaves is like that, and it's just rendering me speechless, and it's of no help at all to the story or the editing process. Or I can reply to some of your messages. You choose. I'm fine with either. Fonte, please do whatever your heart desires. It is your time. Please spend it however you would like. I don't want to encroach upon your time. You are already being very generous with it. So whatever whatever your little heart desires. I think I'm gonna hang out. I'm struggling to draw today. All right, hold on. Let's see if I can get this to work. Because I did not set my stream up for this beforehand because I'm a bad streamer. Let's see if this works. Let me see. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. Well, I think it's working. A little build that I started. The little heart is already on the verge of busting. Go off. Start to think to be one of your beta readers. You might actually you might actually prefer being one of the ARC readers. That might be something that you'd enjoy. Because ARC readers get the finished, like polished, well, it's not polished, but it's usually finished at least. Um, but they get the finished manuscript and they get it early so they can go through and do like a really thorough review. So you might like doing that. Let's see. What was I doing with this build? Almost out of coffee. Alright, give me one moment. I'm gonna pour myself some more coffee. Actually, no, I'm gonna be responsible. I'm gonna get myself a nice cup of water, and I'm gonna take some meds, so I will be right back. I enjoy being nitpicky, so I'm staying mad. Thank you for your service. Alright, let's see. I have to kind of remember what I was doing with this build. I wanted it to be kind of not historical, obviously, because it's very fantasy coded, but right, I forgot. This is where I stopped building. I don't really know what I'm gonna put back here. Mm, I don't really like that because it clips with the rocks. I have to make it really itty bitty for it to not clip. But if I do that, then I probably should make. Ugh, gosh, this is annoying. If I do that, I should probably make the railing for this little staircase also wood. A lookout maybe, or a wizard tower. Ooh, a wizard tower could be super cute. Why are you doing that? Because I don't think I can make the stairs wood, and I don't necessarily want them to be wood either. If I... There we go. I want stairs all the way. Oh wait, I'm a fool. Hold on. It's obvious I haven't played this game in a minute. Alright, let's see. I needed the cozy builds to calm me down, thanks. Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna relax. In the case of the secret project, I don't know. It's the project has been very weird. I wanted it to be this like super quick and short thing, and life has happened, and it's just taking so long. And then now that it's finally wrapping up, it's way too long. It's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. Okay, so I think let's work on hmm. What are we playing? This is Tiny Glade. It is a little diorama builder. It's incredibly cute. Wonder if I have space to do double doors here. I do, just barely. They really squeeze in there. Why can't you do that yourself? Do what? Cut the manuscript down? I mean, I could. I could do it all myself. I want this to be open. I don't want it to be like a wall with a door in it, so. I will complain about that for the rest of my beta reading career. Avante, did you know that every single writer I spoke to when I was trying to have Immolation Volume 1 beta read, every single writer, and I mean without fail, every single one. Do you want to know the one thing that they told me across the board? Every single person told me I should cut because every single writer, every single one without fail, they all told me that I should cut the prologue entirely from the book. Let's see. I don't know if I can do that with both of these. You enjoy the torture too much. Listen, I have to find some little bit of joy in the writing process. But hey, it's hard for me too. There's nothing worse than writing a scene that you really, really like and then realizing that you can't actually use it. It's actually the worst thing. Let's see. I do want these to be taller, so that means a whole other building. Otter, welcome in. I'm glad you could make it. How are you feeling today? You can't just write a boring chapter? Why do you write them well? Just don't. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying them. I really worry that they can. I mean, I enjoyed writing them obviously because I'm biased, but I really worry that for an outside reader, like a fresh pair of eyes, they're like, yeah, whatever. Shut up, Cyril. Stop talking. Um, let's see. So what if I do? I want to do these kinds of windows. Oh, with the brown border, or the wooden border. That's so cute. I'm used to seeing them on stone where they look like this. That's so cute. Hell yeah. Okay. Let's see. And then I want them to be square, but I do want them to be bigger. Nope. I'm alright. Vision's still clearing up. I'm glad you're on the mend. I hope the healing is is as swift as it can be. Building a village, Notre Dame. This is actually based off of a Lego castle that I saw someone build. And I'm like, that's really cute. I'm gonna build it in Tiny Glade. I know absolutely nothing about Lego, but I just thought it was really cute, so I want to build it. Or try to, at least. I think I can use the stairs to create an arch through here, so let's give that a try. That is not straight, but that's alright. No, not what I wanted to do. Okay. I did put it in the worst possible position, and now I have to deal with that. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's looking cute. Hell yeah. Brilliant, brilliant plan. No, don't do 2 arches. Dang it. Okay, well. Stop moving like that. There we go. I'm gonna fill in the ground around it so it won't have that grass on either side. Is the Lego castle you watched Harry Potter or a different one? I don't think it's Harry Potter. I'm gonna have to go find it. I just saved the picture, but it doesn't have the name on the picture that I'm using as a reference. So let me see if I can find it. I don't know if it was a particular set either, because again, I know absolutely nothing about Lego. So I don't know if it was from a particular set or just something that the person built themselves. So I'll see if I can find it. Quick, I'm gonna. Oh wait, if I do this, it's gonna put doors and everything because it's a path. Okay, never mind. What's your Hogwarts house? I will give you 2 guesses to guess my house. If you haven't guessed it by the time I find this Lego set, then I'll just tell you. It's funny, I'm looking through the pictures that I saved as I try to find the castle, and I definitely built it completely wrong because I got mixed up, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to match perfectly. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it looks like it's a combination of a bunch of different sets. Modification of set Medieval Town Square, Viking Village, Medieval Castle, and Family Tree. So it's a combination of those sets. Snake House, Slytherin, Gryffindor. I am indeed a Slytherin. I took the official quiz because one of my friends grabbed me by the ear and sat me down to take the test. And I got Slytherin, so that's my house. Looking very cute. It adds up. Do you mean to insinuate, Vante, that my enjoyment of torturing people has anything to do whatsoever with with the house I was sorted into? Oh, Snake, noodly boys. I'd love to pet the kitty. My cat would kill me for betrayal. You can't betray. I took the quiz a while ago, but I can't remember what house I was. The friend who had me sit down and take the quiz, he is a Hufflepuff. If I was to sort Bronte, she would absolutely 300% be a Hufflepuff. I think she wishes that she was a Ravenclaw, but she's a Hufflepuff. She's so baby, and I love her so much. Cyril, there's no question. We all know Cyril's a Slytherin. I don't even know what house I am. My friends say I'm in Ravenclaw. See, yeah, it's a neglected house in my opinion. Bronte really wishes she was a Ravenclaw. Evangeline is probably a Gryffindor. That feels right. I think she's kind of like Bronte in that she wishes she was a Ravenclaw, but she's actually a Gryffindor. Do I have any Benjamin? Absolutely. Benjamin's a Ravenclaw for sure. You have a cat too? What's your cat's name? What the cat's name and color? This is mandatory information. I'm worthy of the name Hufflepuffing as always. Here, hang on, let me swap back to my other screen and I can show you a photo of the castle that I'm using as the reference for this. All right, here we go. So that's the photo, and then that's the build so far. So it's not exact, obviously, but the inspiration is there. I know, isn't it so cute? My family never really, well, I say my family, but like myself as a kid, I never really got into Legos. Part of me really wishes that I did, but also part of me is like, wow, I really am glad I didn't because they're so expensive. Um, but yeah, I got my dad. a Lego set for I think one of the Star Wars ships, like for Christmas a few years back, and that's basically the only exposure to Lego that my family has ever had. And my dad like was like, "Oh yeah, that's so cool," and then he like never built it and then just sold it later. So I guess we're not cut out for Lego, which my wallet is probably very relieved about. Come on, let me select the walls. There we go. Cool. Oh, whoops. Yeah, because it's going to move the bridge. Alright, fine. It can stay that way. I don't care. It's amazing. I know. Isn't that an impressive build? If you guys want, I can link it. It's on Reddit, so you can take a peek. There's other photos. I just only copy and pasted one. It's a very impressive build. Here, I will put it in the stream chat for you guys. I never had any sets. My dad got me a big bucket of them and would freeform build. My grandpa used to have a big bucket of them. Um, there weren't any like dedicated sets. They were just kind of random pieces. Um, and I remember that my cousins would play with them now and again, but he didn't have them when I was like a really little kid. He only got them later for my cousins, because one of my cousins, the boy, he's very very much into Lego. Um, so he's got a big bin that he builds out of whenever he visits my grandpa. But that's about it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Evangeline, or well, Angelique from the Secret Project, very much, very much a Gryffindor. She definitely should try to act a little bit more like a Ravenclaw and think things through first, but she doesn't. Why pause and think things through when shouting and the swords work? I had the old Lego Friends, the Pop Star house, the Pop Star bus. I built the bus. When I finished it, it broke. No! No, not the shattered Lego set. No. Horrible. My toy, quote unquote, when I was little, I don't know if they still make them anymore. I think what was the brand? I think the brand is Sleesh, and I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I'm probably not. Let me see if I can find like um, but basically they were like little knight figures, basically. And those were my toys that I would like collect and get. Okay, yeah, here we go. I will swap back and show you guys these as well. And here we go. This is a really low resolution picture, but like there were these little toys, these little figures. They I'm not wow, they're really expensive. They're probably collector's items now because I think they've been discontinued. Um, but they're not how tall are they? I don't know, like 5, 6 inches tall. They're quite small, and they're not like hard. They're like a soft plastic material. But yeah, they've basically got all sorts of like knights, and I think they have a castle set. Um, let's see if I can like the little castle display. Whoops. But yeah, they just had like a bunch of these little really, really adorable like knight miniatures. If I had I think like the spare money and the spare space to display them, I would probably definitely get these and collect them. I um I haven't done so just because first of all they are quite expensive now. But also they're one of these things where when I collect like my dolls that I collect, I get them knowing that I will never part with them except in dire circumstances. And if I do need to sell them at any point, they retain most of their value. Versus these little toys like this, it's kind of like collecting what are those things called that everybody likes, but I hate them. Um, uh, what are they called? They're little figures, but they all look the same, and they come in boxes. Anyways, the point being, these toys, the way that toy collectors approach these is they want them to be in mint condition, they want them to be brand new, still in their packaging, and if you don't sell them brand new, mint condition in their packaging, they're not worth very much. And that just isn't really the way that I interact with my collectibles. I like to display them, I like to have them out of their packaging. So I've always been hesitant to kind of jump into that deep end of collecting them because I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. But if I have the spare money and space, absolutely I would get these and I would have a little display of knights and it would make me very, very happy. Not Labubus. Labubus are like the little things people hang on their purses, those little ugly cute teddy bear with the goblin face or whatever they're called. No, what are the ones that I'm thinking of? That they're people will collect them and they'll have like entire walls that are just boxes of um these figures, but they all look the same. It's just like the colors that change. It's the exact same model and just like the colors and clothes change. God, what are they called? Boxed figure collector collection? I don't know. No, that's gonna give me like action figures, and that's not what I'm thinking of. They're not action figures, and they're not like anime figures. They're like really simplified, like cartoons. Yes, they have the huge heads. Pop figures. Pop. So, okay, pop. Funko Pops. That's what they're called. Funko Pops. God. It took all of us, it took a collaborative effort, but we got there in the end. Yeah, okay. Yes, Funko Pops. I, people who collect Funko Pops are like, they need to be mint, they need to be new in box, the box can't be damaged, yada, yada, yada. It's that same kind of mentality with those kinds of toy collections that people have towards the Sleesh toys, and that is not the way that I interact with my collections. So I'm hesitant to jump into that because I don't wanna kind of open that can of worms. But anyways, thank you. I'm glad we got there in the end. But yes, I'm actually going to hopefully be buying two bookshelves to put together a display for my dolls so that I can have them kind of nicely in shelves. Um, and if I do that, I might be able to clear off one of my um, bookshelves and have an empty space on like the lowest shelf on there, which might mean that I can possibly put some Sleesh toys there if I buy them. I think I have the dragon. Hold on. I think I have the dragon from Sleesh. That is not how you spell Sleesh. Yes, okay, so I have this guy. Here we go. I have this little green dragon dude. Um, what else? do I have? See, I think what I remember is that I really, really loved the Sleesh models as a kid, but they were relatively expensive. I think like 20 to 30 bucks a pop. Like they were not cheap. They were still very much like collector toys. Um, so they weren't particularly cheap at that time. And there was instead a extremely cheap brand, I believe called Papo, I think is what they're called, or were called. I don't know if they're still being made. That were like really shitty, but they were like the same exact kind of figure. Some of them were good, some of them were not, but they were a whole lot cheaper. So my parents would like get me some of like the really basic figures from Papo, which was the cheap brand, and then like once or twice a year for like my birthday or Christmas, I would get one of the more expensive Sleesh models. So like for example, I think I have um, that's the wrong color. She's been repainted. There she is. Oh my goodness, her little face. So I have the queen, the queen from the Papo brand instead of Sleesh. But I have the king, who I believe is from Sleesh. Yes, so that's the queen from Papo, which is the cheap brand in the purple dress. And then I have the king from Sleesh, and you can just see like the difference in the quality. One of them is clearly meant for like kids, and then one of them is more meant for collectors, not necessarily adult collectors, but you know, for collectors. I wonder if I've got them out here or if they're in storage. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I put them into storage, but I might have a couple of them out here. It's a copy of Immolation. That's a little plushie that one of my guy friends made for his Final Fantasy character. Very, very cute, but unfortunately he is naked. He never got any clothes made for him, but he's super cute. A little cotton doll. Yeah, okay, so I don't see. Yeah, okay, I don't see them. Well, anyways, I know I have the king from Sleesh. Let's see, what else? What are the other ones that I have? Just kind of off the top of my head. Look at that drip. Oh my god, the evil king. Okay, I think I had the. Oh, I had the knights, some of the knights from the Papo brand, which is the cheap brand. Um, there's one specific horse that I know I had, or have. I still have it. It's the blue one. Yeah, okay, here it is. These are really bad pictures. These are people like putting them down sideways on their kitchen top counters, which is not not very okay. Um, okay, here we go. Yes. So I have this one. So this is the horse from Papo, and then it had a knight that sat on it. But I'm not having a easy time finding the knight that sat on him. Oh, there it is. And then this is the knight that would sit on the horse. Let's see. Oh, and then I had I think I had another queen that was Sleesh instead of, yes, I did. That's Sleesh instead of Papo, and she is riding her horse. There she is. Excellent stance. I'm obsessed with people who love their childhood toys. There's so much nostalgia, just chef kiss. I'm pretty sure that I mean, I know I have them because I moved relatively recently and I know that they were included. I just don't know if I put them in a relatively easy to access spot or if I put them all the way into the bins that are stacked up and would be very difficult to access. Because I think I did the latter instead of the former. But I do have a bunch of them. I just, again, I don't really have a spot to display them. But they're very cute. I'm a big fan. One day, eventually, I will write a story that is like purely medieval fantasy, so it really falls into this vibe. Black Knight, oh well, I was gonna say Black Knight Shining, but you guys might not actually recognize that name because I don't know how many times I've said that. But the Secret Project, which is titled Black Knight Shining, was originally supposed to have this kind of vibe, this like high medieval feel to it, but it has since morphed into not necessarily feeling quite like that. It's morphed into feeling a little bit more high fantasy. But who knows? Maybe eventually I will do something that's more of like an Arthurian medieval feel. Maybe. Perhaps. I have the old generation of Winx Club dolls and my very first Barbie. I miss my sit and spin. My sister, well, my mom in general, my mom was a really big collector of Barbies when she was a kid, and my sister ended up having a really big collection of Barbies as well, which I'm sure Max is going to get a big kick out of. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's my mom had a ton of Barbie stuff, a lot of really really cool like vintage Barbie stuff, which well vintage for us back then, which was always really cool. Okay, let's see. How do I want to do this little courtyard thing? I'm obviously not trying to copy the Lego castle one to one because I want to do a little bit of some different stuff. But I think I'll just fill in the castle grounds for now. I'll just start doing that. That was my friend. All the special edition Barbies on her shelves. My mom didn't collect like the special editions so much, but she definitely had like some very particular Barbies that she was very fond of. Same with my sister, but yeah, not like limited collection. Oh my gosh, I can talk. Ugh. Limited edition collections where like you have like the rows of boxes or particular special Barbies. Just like a big mismatched bin of Barbies. It didn't disclose the name until now, but it's not very medieval. Yeah, it's funny to see the way that it changed. over the course of writing it, because the very, very original notes that I had were very much like Arthurian medieval, but that changed really, really quickly. But yeah, surprise, now you guys know the title of the secret project. Mm, that's not what I wanted, is it? I'll have to figure out how I cover that up later. Maybe a wall goes there. I'm not sure. I don't have too many toys from my childhood, mostly figures from video games and anime. I mean, I have the Sleesh slash Popo toys. Some of them, not all of them. My mom kept like the Big Look Castle set for her future grandchildren, which is now going to be Max, arriving sometime early next year. So I'll probably keep like the Sleesh models and then like let him have the Popo models to play with when he's bored. But I think other than that, I don't really have um, a whole lot else like specifically from childhood. Most of those toys my mom has packed up and kind of kept as keepsakes. I know she has a Beauty and the Beast tea set that my sister had. So if you go into the garage at our house and you look up, there's like a bunch of clear bins that have all these like old toys in them. And you can see like Mrs. Potts just kind of in the corner. I don't know if I want to make it that big. Because what I prefer to do is basically fill in the border and then just use a path to make the rest. Not the Beauty and the Beast in the garage. I know. I had Belle's dress and would wear it almost every day. I don't know if my sister ever had like any like princess dresses or outfits. I guess we had like this entire toy bin that was built into the wall of my room. So basically, when we moved into the house we moved into as kids, each of our closets had like a three-door closet basically that took up the entire wall. And when we moved in, my dad split that closet so that on one side it was a two-door closet, and on the other side it was a built-in toy chest that would then have a cushion put on top, and it would be like a reading nook. Because I did a lot of reading when I was a kid. And in that toy bin beneath it, we had all of like our dress-up clothes, which was mostly for my sister, but like I had some stuff too, like Halloween costumes and so on. But I think honestly, other than like Halloween, neither my sister or I did much like quote unquote dressing up. I know that we had um like old wedding dresses in there, and my sister would put on like the old wedding dresses. Like I think we had my grandma's wedding dress and our family friend's wedding dress in there, and she would wear those. But other than that, I don't think those and Halloween we didn't really have too much dress up. Like my parents didn't buy like princess dresses or like GI Joe outfits or whatever for us. I guess we weren't really interested in them as kids. Okay, now I should be able to, in theory, fill in the rest of this. Oh, and it's gonna give stairs. Hell yeah, that's gonna be super cute. Okay, let's do that. This might get too deep here. Oh, no, I guess it works. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Adorable. I wonder if I can make... Very cute. The brand is Sleesh. Yes, I have no idea how to pronounce it. I'm just choosing to believe that that's how you say it. Super cute. I need to play this game with the new updates. It's extremely cute. I'm looking forward to doing more with the stairs once I get further along in building. Okay, because I believe the next main thing is I want there to be like a wall kind of hiding this. That's as narrow as it gets. That's fine. Something like that. I don't think you can remove the doors, unfortunately. You can make them shorter, because it's a path right there. So I'll just have to try and move it away from that. Man, it's really persistent, isn't it? There we go. That'll do. Doesn't really cover this up, but I'll come back to that. I can put another building over here. He says as he immediately wants to try hiding it anyways. I, oh my goodness, come here. I'm not ready to decorate. There we go. I wasn't allowed to trick or treat, but I had her dress Snow White's dress in Power Rangers. Power Rangers. I loved Power Rangers. My mom didn't allow us, or well, me, because I was the only one who was interested. My mom didn't let me watch Power Rangers. It was like forbidden, but I would like sneak on and like turn on the TV at 3 a.m. and I would catch it. I always wanted princess dresses, but never got them. Mom did make a few fun ones though. See, that's cool. My mom wasn't really like a crafty mom, so she didn't like sew us stuff or anything. Is the brand German? I believe so. I believe it is a German brand. Let me see. I believe they're still making toys. They just don't make the knights anymore. Yes, they are a German producer of painted toy figures, and yes, they still make. It looks like they make like livestock and like wildlife. That's kind of their big thing. Unfortunately, they do not seem to make any of the knights or medieval sets anymore, which is a shame. Yeah, that's amazing that your mom would make them. That's really cool. Got tons of Winx dresses, which I was really excited about. Okay, let's see. I want this area to be like a little, not quite a town square, but like a little, central area. And then, oops, it's gonna be really tricky to do this with the path system that the game has. I hope that eventually they add a way to kind of toggle that off, but we will make do because the stairs are worth it. Cool. It's gonna have to be a really short little building, huh? Or I could make the walls taller. I should make the walls taller. Oh, will it let me make them taller or are they at max? I can make them taller. Okay, cool. I have to adjust each of them now, though. Oh, that'll be annoying. Let's see. That's about equal. It doesn't need to be perfect. Alright, I'll just leave it at those walls for now, and I will adjust the rest later. My mom used to be a seamstress, that's why. That's so cool. Tailoring, seamstressing, seamstressing. I don't think that's a word. Sewing. It's such an impressive skill. I'm always in awe of people who manage to do it. Might be why I like cosplay. Got a ton of princess dresses from the dressmaker. That's so cool. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Why did you move? Come back here. Alright. Actually, that ends up working well with that little building over there, so a good change overall. And actually, I think we can center this one a little bit. Cool. Very cute. There's even a little itty bitty bird's nest barely squished in back there. I can't really fit it in there, can I? Alright, it'll go over here for now. Very cute. Slowly coming together. I have to go. Have a great day. Good night until next time. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend and a good week ahead. Right, so let's see here. Looks like the build that this person did. This little house over here. I'm gonna have to raise the walls again, and I'm going to have to remove some of the pathing, but that's okay. That's as high as that one goes. Yeah, it's on the lower elevation. Okay, I'll have to add one to that. And I'll do that later. Cute. Adorable. Lily, welcome in. How are you today? Actually, what time is it? Okay, it's almost 1:30. Okay, I probably have like 15, maybe 20, 25 minutes. Then I'm gonna need to go because those manuscripts aren't gonna edit themselves. And today is pretty much my only free day this week. And then it looks like... Actually, it'd be really cute to have a little house kind of up on, not really stilts, but also kind of stilts. Something like that, because it's gonna have, yeah, that's super cute. All right, let's see if I can do something with that. Okay, fine. Come over here to do with that. It's been a while since I was able to catch a stream. Nice castle build. Thank you. I'm glad you could make it. Thank you for being here. Yeah, something like that. Oh. I know, poor Vontae. I left you on a cliffhanger again. That's cute. And you could put like little benches and chairs and stuff underneath. Very cute. And because we have the stair item, finally people can actually get inside the little house. I'm not sure where I'm going to put the stairs just yet. I'm thinking over here, but we'll see. We'll get there. Because I think I want to put... Basically, there's going to be like a taller, like, inner castle building, kind of right over here is what I'm thinking. I am deviating a little bit from the Lego castle, just because I'm doing this in the game, so it's a little bit different. And I think what I'm gonna do, this one's gonna be kind of tricky, but I think I can make it work. There's a little potted plant that wedged itself in there. I don't know if I'm gonna have this connected to the wall. Yeah, okay, I am. And then, because there's gonna be like a larger tower back here. Round or square? I think I'm gonna do square. Actually, I'm loosely using the Lego castle as a reference for this little portion over here. Only loosely though. Because from the photos I can't actually see the part that I want to look at, but I can kind of see it. Kind of, sort of. I'm reading. I have cookies if you want. Cookies actually sound so good. I haven't baked anything in a while. The last thing I baked was some cookies for my sister's wedding, which were all around considered to be a smash hit, so that's good. I just haven't really had the time or energy to bake anything else, but we're going into the baking season, so I really feel the itch to bake something. Flowers there. Oh, well, oh my goodness, we've got even more flowers over here. Honestly, fall makes me crave all the cinnamon and apple flavored things. And banana bread. How could I forget the banana bread? That's right. I had a bunch of bananas that were getting overripe, so I made banana bread. It was quite good. It was good in texture, but it was lacking a little bit of the flavor. I think that was probably my fault though. I don't think I spiced it heavily enough. But overall, solid 8 out of 10. Fall makes me crave all the cinnamon and apple flavored things. Same. I would do unholy things for like an apple cinnamon donut right now. That's like one of the fall treats that I really look forward to. Probably again because of the apple orchards that my family usually goes to, because they have a really yummy uh, apple cinnamon donut, and I want it. Oh my goodness. Ah, okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. About yay high. I don't want that to be a door. Sure, it can be a door. Why not? Look at my pens on Discord. Okay, hold on, hold on. Let me see. They're so cute. The little knight. I've seen that sword online before. It's super cute. Little knights and then the Little Mermaid. It's like Cyril's band-aid that he that he wore in that one sketch that I need to finish. I need to finish it so bad. I think that one would be fun as a print if I could do a background for it. I love how this is just like a bucket of squares. I've jokingly called it a bucket of cheese slices because that's what it looks like. I think it's supposed to be like leaves or debris, but anyways, I find it very funny. Yes, thank you. They're guarding her, hopefully. Hopefully they are loyal and honorable knights, and they are not like a certain knight I know. They look like crusaders. They look like, well, one of them looks like a crusader. I'm sure they're good, upstanding, honorable young knights. Or old knights. Either one. Okay, let's see here. Should this one have these shapes, or should it have? Because if I use these windows, this is the only appearance they can have, so nothing changes. But if I use the square windows, they can have things like washing, flower boxes, shutters, all sorts of stuff. Which ones should I use on this building? I'm leaning towards the square, but since it's right next to the definitely not cathedral chapel thing, I'm not sure if I want to keep the windows the same or not. What do you think? Vision is getting fuzzy. I'm gonna head out. Thanks for the stream. Thank you so much for coming, Otter. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna start wrapping up here soon, so thank you for visiting, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Apple pie. I absolutely love apple pie. One of the places at the orchards up the hill from where I am, they have an apple pie. However, it is an apple caramel pie, and just, oh, chef kiss. It is the best, hands down. We always get at least two every year. We'll go up and we'll have like a slice, and we'll all share like the slice between us because they give you big slices, like slices that easily feed like two or three people. They give you big old slices of it. But then we'll take at least two home frozen, and we'll have one for Thanksgiving, and we'll have one at Christmas, and it's always from that one orchard. It's just, oh, it's so good. Best apple pie I've ever had. Square windows it is. Alrighty. I think it'll work. I don't know if I'm gonna do double windows, but I think it'll be really cute with some like washing between it. Oh, and because of this, I can do this thing where if I lift the window up, it like adds little tiles above it. Isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay. How far up can I do that? Oh, it's so cute. Okay, and then I want to do washing on the windows down here if I can. Yeah, that's super cute. Awesome. Let's see. Can squeeze one in here. This little flower box. Oh, dang it, I skipped it. There we go. Awesome. I don't know how you get into this this little house. Maybe I can squeeze a door over here. Oh, it's like clipping. Let's see here. I'll squeeze a little door in, and then we'll just... Come here. Oh, not you. There we go. but there's one thing it's missing. There we go. There's a little bird, a little guy. There he goes. Adorable. We're getting there. We're making progress. Apple caramel pie sounds so good. It's so good. One of my complaints with apple pies is that sometimes the apples can feel like soggy, which isn't what you want. You want them you want them to be soft but not soggy, and there's like a difference, right? Like you don't want it to be watery. And because it's got caramel in it, it hits like that perfect texture because I'm a big texture person when it comes to food. Like the first thing that I prefer in food is the texture, and it's just chef kiss. It's so good. All right, and then over here, I think what I'm gonna do, because this is the actual gate over here. Make sure it's even. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Oh, it's all wood. Okay, let's see. There we go. Right. And I think what I will do is add stairs, kind of. Where do I want to add them? Maybe I could do. I will fix it later. Trust me. Trust the process. And then I will fill in whatever I want to fill in over there because I'm not entirely sure. Because there might be some taller buildings in between, or there might be like something else. Something else that I haven't decided on yet. A burp! But I think that is going to do it for me. I do have 2 manuscripts staring at me that I need to edit. And at least one of them that Vontae's currently stuck in a cliffhanger on. So send me strength to make the cuts and everything that I need to do, in theory. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to work, do my fun little Sunday chores, all that fun stuff. But thank you guys very, very much for hanging out. I hope you guys had a good time. I stream every other Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I hope you can make it. I hope you enjoy hanging out. Usually it's art. Every once in a while, if I'm dying, it's a game instead. But thank you again so much for coming. Hope you had a good time. I will see you guys next time. And until then, be safe and have a good week.